So one of the really interesting things about concentrating on what we would call decision density is thinking about how many decision repetitions are the players getting within a given activity. So if we're going to spend 20 to 30 minutes of an hour and a half training session doing binary activities where it's like, I give the players a step, pass it to that player, run to the back of a line. There's zero decisions being made. So we have the constraints at Soccer Genome of we have 1 hour, typically a week per group. We want to get the maximum number of player actions and decisions being made within that hour that we can. So one way we do that is by structuring our activities to have decision density, where players are forced to make lots of decisions in a short amount of time and prioritizing that experience for the player over just pure repetition. And again, going back to the concept of having the context be the priority and not just random skill acquisition, decision density is going to track back to a real game much more effectively, because we want to develop players who can read the game, which is, again, a very kind of cliche term, I think, at this point, where we just say it, but we don't always know what are we really saying when we say reading the game. What I like to think about is we want players to be able to read visual cues and then have a toolbox of how do I now assess and solve this problem. So reading the game is both a visual reading of the triggers and cues within the game, and then the more experienced and the more mature the players, the more tools they have to then solve that problem. So the decision density piece is a skill that has to be trained, but the way we train it is through volume of player actions in a specific environment that contextually will drive back to the real game.